Rebekah Hoeger picks up the story from there. Rebekah, you were in the courtroom today.
That's right, Bob. And after more than a decade on death row, George Martin is asking a judge to dismiss his case. And this gravel road leads to a boat ramp. But as you can see, it's covered in water, and smoke coming from the fire that started on this side of the building made it even harder to see. They did try to pull prints from the truck, but only got smudges. Bruno was 3 months pregnant at the time of the shooting. Her family was in the courtroom today, and Wright says it was difficult for them to face the alleged killer. I'm told by someone who works at the gas station that out of 4 surveillance cameras around the building, only the one above me works. All I had to do was open up the app, set my location, and hit request. 53 pages here revealing new details about how much money the government says the doctors were making distributing pills. The sheriff's office says he was a former student at Dawes Intermediate. He's charged with 1 count of terrorist threats and 4 counts of rendering a false alarm. The police chief says there were actually officers outside in the parking lot controlling the crowd when the fight broke out inside the church. Half the fun of Halloween is getting to be whatever or whoever you want to be. Get out! Mayor Stimson says the White House is now calling our Wallace Tunnel a regional issue. He says it's putting Mobile on the map. Reporting live in Chickasaw, live in Molino, from Metro Jail, in Bay Minette, in Saraland. From RV City, I'm Rebekah Hoeger, Fox 10 News. Of all the boats in the marina,
this is a box turtle.
One stands out.
And I built it from scratch.
Not just because of its size, shape, or color.
It took 2 years to build.
But the stories it holds.
The boat became the ambassador. Careful, a little athletic.
Bert Chamberlain, a retired teacher from Minnesota, is Box Turtle's captain.
And I just happened to be along for the ride.
2 years ago, he decided to build Box Turtle.
My wife and son go, well, here he goes again.
And take it on an adventure.
And so I said, hey, Mississippi River, here I come. Big waves coming from a big boat.
Chamberlain boated down the Mississippi, the Ohio, the Tennessee, and the Kentucky rivers.
Mostly it was quiet. Mostly I was by myself.
1,500 miles, and 2 months later, he docked in Fairhope.
This is the place I sat for 60 days on.
Along the way, he met dozens of friends and stayed in over 40 different towns.
I have many stories to tell from people telling me their stories.
Chamberlain says it was a life-changing experience.
I have other voyages in my mind.
And this won't be his or Box Turtle's last adventure.
The world is a big place to go see and look, and it's too adventurous not to go see. And I think it opens your eyes to different cultures and people, and why wouldn't you want to learn about that?
Progress to an I-10 bridge has moved about as fast as Wallace Tunnel traffic at rush hour. But Mobile Mayor Sandy Stimson says that's about to change.
We're gaining traction.
Mayor Stimson just met with 9 other leaders and 19 investors in Washington, D.C. to talk about I-10 bridge funding.
And we need to pursue 2 pathways. One is the traditional funding by the federal government, and the other is going to be with public-private partnership.
I-10 carries passengers all the way from California to Florida. Mayor Stimson says the White House is now calling our Wallace Tunnel a regional issue. He says it's putting Mobile on the map.
That's a game changer. And that really puts you in a little different category or classification when it comes to getting federal funds.
We're very excited that it is getting some attention.
Vince Calametti with the Alabama Department of Transportation says they've also been discussing funding. But the more prominent task for them is getting a design of the bridge made.
We have put out a notice of need for a consultant. They have until about the middle of April to notify the department they are interested in pursuing this design contract.
He says a design could be done in about 2 years. Mayor Stimson says the process seems slow, but the progress is big.
The tempo is picked up. I mean, the pace is picked up.
If only the same could be said for congested traffic in the tunnels. The Saving Youth Foundation runs a program for at-risk youth.
These people and staff, they're like my family.
Michelle Fadgen says she spent the last 3 years in the program and she never felt mistreated.
The staff, they're very sweet, they're very nice, but if you disrespect them, they kind of put you back into your place because you're here for a reason. So it's not to be mean, it's just on that respect level, because some kids don't have respect.
This is the girls' facility on Sullivan Avenue. Inside the building, you'll find isolation rooms for punishment. 17-year-old Taylor Wagner has a different take on the organization. She told us over the phone she was once in an isolation room for 22 days for writing her mom a letter for help.
They would put you in handcuffs and shackles if they felt like they wanted to. They would put you in there. Sometimes they would strip you down to your bra and underwear, and you were in there 24 hours a day. Sometimes they would barely let you out to use the restroom. You had to eat in there and sleep in there.
Wagner says she was also physically abused at the center and was delayed medical treatment. The director of the program, Pastor John Young, says though kids could be punished with multiple days in isolation, the rest of it isn't true.
There's no need to have a kid in shackles in isolation. And the only reason why a kid would be in leg shackles if they're running. And when we put a kid in isolation, that's because they're really doing something that danger to themselves or danger to others.
Young says because it's a center for troubled youth, kids will say anything to get out of the facility and back into trouble.
I don't really blame the kids. They want their freedom. They want to go out and smoke their pot. They want to hang out in the streets. They want to get back to Facebook and everything. And a facility like this, it's a controlled environment.
This is a view of the boys' facility on Spring Hill Avenue. A sign on the wall shows the punishment received for certain offenses. For lying, stealing, or threatening, a third offense punishment is no less than 25 days in an isolation room. Mobile police are investigating the center's conditions. And as allegations begin to pile up, Young maintains that there's no evidence of mistreatment at his facilities. I mean, do you feel that there's sufficient evidence?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Inside Delta Bike Project, you'll hear the blaring of music, jangling of wrenches, and the clicking of gears.
We're all volunteers, no one is paid, but to help people, that's payment enough for us.
The nonprofit's goal is to get people on the move.
Oh, it's so nice.
They sell used bikes.
That's how we stay in business.
And teach people to repair them. The group also gives people the chance to earn bikes through 5 hours of community service around Mobile.
We find what skill they have and we put them to work.
This is my second one.
That's exactly what happened with LaTanya Jones.
I'm homeless. That's all I got, really. Besides my bike, I ain't got nothing. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have nothing.
About 75% of the people we help are people in need, homeless or poor. And so they come in without any money, but they're capable.
People like Larry Fox, who earned his first bike more than a year ago.
They had a nicer bike that I wanted, and hey, what I got to do to get it? Oh, you mind helping somebody? You know anything about bikes? I said, yeah, and just started from there.
Fox is still homeless, but his bike gets him around.
It's good for the heart.
Now he comes back every Tuesday and Sunday to volunteer.
I enjoy coming here every week.
At Delta Bike Project, hundreds of old bikes get a new lease on life, and so do the owners.
They take care of you.
Because being able to get from place to place can put people on the road to a better life.
This gives people the opportunity, it gives them a chance.
In Mobile, Rebekah Hoeger, Fox 10 News.